Hey guys, welcome to session 6. I just read Assholes Finish First by Tucker Max. Now, for those of you that read his last book, his first book, I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell, you might realize that most of the stories kind of pale in comparison to the one story where he takes his friend to Austin and they go to a strip club and get arrested and shit. And you might realize, or you might notice, that they actually made a movie on that. Now, the movie didn't do too well commercially or critically, but for people that truly understand Tucker Max and his fans, it worked alright. Actually, in the movie, there's this one part where the guy who gets arrested makes a call in jail. And the number he gives is actually Tucker Max's phone number, but he doesn't pick up my calls, so whatever. Now, this book also focuses on one story predominantly. It's the Tucker Fest story, where they invite him over to some kind of special event, and just talks about stuff he does on the way there. So, I mean, if you're going to read one story in there, one story to actually stand out to you, you should read that one. I noticed in this book, though, that they're more trolly. They like to screw with people a lot. The first story in the book is about how he goes to Duke and finds a bunch of campers and trolls them. Then the next one is about him dressing up as a clown, going from bar to bar and trolling them. Just screwing with them. It just... Whereas the first book was like him just going on getting drunk and stuff. I don't know, it feels like the second book has more of a let's screw with people aspect. Good thing, though, is I think it's a smarter book. When he talks more eloquently. There's more references. Like, I found random allusions to Greek mythology. And he even explains some more complex ideas like cognitive dissonance and the inner workings of the female mind. You also get to know more about him as a person. Like music he likes, video games he does, like food he likes and stuff like that. I'm sure that part doesn't really matter too much except for maybe like a hardcore fan who already knows all this stuff already. Now, a large criticism I see online is that the story focuses a lot on him just banging a bunch of girls. About half the book, I think, is about sex stories. And people calling him up, just to date him and stuff. And he also goes into a lot of detail about how many virgins go to him to get deflowered. And that seems to be the main criticism, that, okay, you're banging a lot of chicks, so what? Oh, you bang another chick, okay. Okay. Man, this is getting old. Well, at first glance, I would say that, yeah, I actually did notice this too. It's just, like, once you actually start to read between the lines, and you see what he's really saying, you see that the point of all this isn't just to brag, because he does that enough in real life. He knows he's cool. The point is to show you how much the wealth and the fame have changed him. You get to see how people perceive him and how they begin to misinterpret his doctrine. And, like, things they begin to call him that just completely miss the point. And part of the Tucker Fest story, the story that this book's based on, like the central story here, is about how his fame made him abandon his own values. And that provides a deeper level of Tucker than we had seen before. So, even though he's not exactly even though it talks about all the stuff that seems like he's bragging, you actually do see a lot of his inner transformation of his character. And, like, you get to see, like, every artist. Who was it? I think it was Ortega, some philosopher, said that you're not really an artist, you're not a philosopher until you've been misinterpreted more than you've gotten right. I mean, those of you that see the die-hard conservatives with the flag saying, "Oh, repent, you're all going to hell. Oh, fags suck, you're all going to hell, repent." You realize that they've missed the point of God, Jesus, stuff like that. So you really, of course, that took millions of years. But just Tucker Max here, in just 10 years, you already see a big level of being misinterpreted. Which I guess you can count as like cultural analysis too. And you can really see how different people perceive him differently, because in this book he actually gives multiple points of view. Some chapters are written by different people, which is really cool. And then you see the people that begin to miss the point by imitating him. Like, they just, like, people that would just do things for themselves. Excuse me. People that would just do things to tell a story. Like, Tucker was always about having fun, doing what you want, screw everyone else. Like Tyler Durden, which he actually states that Fight Club was a big influence to him. So, he was always about do what you want, screw everyone else. That was the point of all his books. Like, don't let the system bring you down. And people start to go on crazy adventures and stuff just to brag about it and tell a Tucker Max story. And, you know, that really wasn't the point of it. And, you know, it's just, he was about go and have fun and do what you want. And then you see how many women that want to bang him, they go to him just so they can talk about it, just so they can brag to their friends about it. And he becomes used in the same way that he told you not to be used by the system. Like, you see some kind of dramatic irony in the story. But only if you look deep. So, I mean, even though this book still has probably 2 good stories. Yeah, I'll say 2 good stories. And it still has a lot of stuff from the website that you could already read. Like, you already knew. Basically a reprint. But it gives you a deeper look into his character. So it changes the mood. Like, the first one was all, let's go have fun, let's get drunk, let's have a good time. And the second one, even though it has that, it has like a deeper tone to it. It has more layers. It's kind of like, you know, you watch Batman Begins, you're like, oh, that was cool. Yeah, alright, let's watch the second one. And then you watch the second one, you're like, well, shit. Wow. Kind of like that. So, even though this book is actually pretty long, it has a lot of good stuff in it. You see a lot of elements of him that you never really seen before. And even if you don't really care about him, even if, you know, I'm probably a bigger fan than whoever you are. But let's just say you don't care about him. You can see how wealth and fame can influence and how it can basically cause you to change who you are. Even though you are the voice of the person. You are the voice of the people telling you not to do that. And how nobody is infallible. Alright, I think that's all I have time for today. So, I'll see you later. Email me. WeirdMoonCarvings@gmail.com. Later.